So we're looking at facts on both sides, and again, Brett Kavanaugh denies all of this. President Trump waded in his extremely long news conference yesterday and sort of did the whole reality show build-up, also just opening himself up to possibly changing his mind, and also defamed the accusers again. Take a look.
You have daughters. Can you understand why a victim of sexual assault would not report it at the time? Don't you understand?
By the way, I only say this. 36 years, no charge, no nothing.
But that happens often. I mean,
people are going to have to make a decision. 36 years, there's no charge. All of a sudden, the hearings are over, and the rumors start coming out. And then you have this other con artist, Avenatti, come out with another beauty today. As far as the other women are concerned, I'm going to see what happens tomorrow. I'm going to be watching. You know, believe it or not, I'm going to see what's said. So it's possible that they will be convincing.
About the benefit of the doubt that you have given to people like Roy Moore, to Roger Ailes, to Bill O'Reilly, to Brett Kavanaugh. They're all men. Why is that?
It's not a benefit of the doubt.
Has there ever been an instance when you've given the benefit of the doubt to a woman?
I've known them for a long time. And a lot of these people, and some I've been disappointed with. I have been disappointed with some. Others, there are charges that are pretty weak, but I've known people for a long time. I never saw them do anything wrong. And there are some that probably I agree. I can tell you there are some that I've been watching for a long time. And in a couple of cases, they weren't Republicans. In a lot of cases, they were not. They were exactly the opposite. But I've been watching them for a long time. And I knew for a long time these were not good people, and they were never brought up.
We're not exactly sure what he was talking about there. Apologies for playing that.
So nonsensical.
So Donald Trump talked about 36 years. Why does it take so long for these people to come? We keep hearing, why is it taking so long for these people to come forward? Well, here's what one of the Judiciary Committee members, Senator Lindsey Graham, wrote in his 2016 campaign book about his experience as a military prosecutor. Quote, "I tried rape cases that still bother me, including the prosecution of several GIs who had gang raped a young German girl. She was just destroyed by it. I learned how much unexpected courage from a deep and hidden place it takes for a rape victim or sexually abused child to testify against their assailants." Graham continues, "Trying to get a scared, confused little kid or young woman who feels the best part of her life is over to recall a memory that their every psychological impulse is trying to suppress is not something you forget. It has stayed with me ever since." Mika,
he's got a different opinion now.
He seems to have a different opinion.
Oh, he does. Now he says full steam ahead.
We're voting.
Yeah, we're voting.
Is nonsense.
This is it. So it's like Rudy Giuliani. There is then when it serves you, and there is now when it serves you, with no moral core, none. And Michael Steele, what's the impact on the Republican Party when you see these men evolve to their needs instead of to the realities?
Well, I think women are going to make that very clear, and they have been for a while now. That's one of the reasons why. Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why you see this sort of scurrying about right now, trying to get this whole matter settled. And when they thought it had settled, to the points that have been made earlier, another allegation comes forward. And there are Republicans who do feel that an FBI investigation was warranted, but that's not where the political pressure point was any longer. And so they're now stuck in the space to watch this episode unfold today, Mika, that at its core, is going to be ridiculous on its face.
Yep.
Because you're going to have a panel of Democratic senators who are going to be asking both the accused and the accuser questions. And then you're going to have this one single female representative for, the majority of those Republican senators asking all of the questions. And they're going to sit there like potted plants with expressions on their face we can't wait to see And the country's going to look at this totally embarrassing moment and say, you are feckless in your leadership. You are afraid to engage in a situation that you yourselves have created.
Yeah, and and the joke of it all
line.
is that Americans are going to look at this spectacle and know that most of the people on both sides have already made up their mind. We already talked about Democratic senators who have already convicted Judge Kavanaugh, despite hearing Dr. Ford. And there are Republicans who have said, including Mitch McConnell, who said full steam ahead. Again,
and these women are liars. That's wrong.
Process on either side. No due process for the accusers, no due process for the accused, just a rush to judgment. And Willie, again, the Lindsey Graham statement, where a very powerful passage in his book, just from 2016, My How Things Have Changed in 2 years, but just from 2016, saying that somebody that goes through what Dr. Ford said she went through, every psychological impulse that is inside a woman who has been raped, or there's been an attempted rape or a sexual assault, every impulse is to hide it, is to shield it, is to forget it. Again, more of a reason why we need the FBI, not a super cop, but the FBI, to just get the facts, report them back to the Senate, and say, this is what we found out.
Yeah, well, it's exactly what Joyce was saying a minute ago. No woman goes public with a claim of sexual assault lightly. They're putting the worst moment of their life out in public. And in this case, magnify that times a million. Your name is in the history book. Your kids are getting death threats. You have to have security around you at all times.
God.
So the idea that she took this lightly and just threw it out to torpedo the nomination is tough to believe. And that's why they've got to listen closely and actually consider what she says today. All these people whose minds are made up beforehand, listen to her story, look for evidence, and keep an open mind. As Senator John Kennedy said yesterday, a Republican on this show, said, of course my mind's open. If she says something that implicates clearly Judge Kavanaugh, I will be a no.
But Trump said that yesterday. He said, I'm going to listen and see what happens. But there's a logical fallacy in what you just said, which is that Kavanaugh is basically saying that everybody who has levied these accusations is lying about them. So if he's telling the truth, then the pain of coming forward with an allegation, that doesn't hold in this case, because what we're talking about is in his reckoning are false allegations, and the motivations for coming out with a false allegation are entirely different.
Well,
that's why we have the hearing.
Right.
That's why we don't.
We need more than a hearing.
Well, we do.
Go ahead.
So, thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.